What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, is proposing significant changes to Section 8 and HUD housing. Now, all of us that come from a certain environment know of somebody, or we are familiar with ourselves, living in Section 8. I personally was blessed never to have to deal with such a thing, but I actually know people today that develop housing or buy properties in order to try to rent them out for Section 8. And the reason that they do that is because it is a guaranteed check. I hate to put it like this, taking advantage of a government program, and all government programs, just because it's labeled government before it, is not ideal for the environment. It's not ideal for the culture, and it's actually enabling people to continue to take advantage of taxpayer money and not actually help themselves. Section 8 and government housing, similar to food stamps or any social program, is not created so that you have a lifetime of benefits and you can take advantage of American taxpayers. It was created to give you a leg up so that you can ultimately do for yourself. Now, ever since I was young, since I was born, I've always known that it's been in existence. I was born in the 80s. Similar to food stamps, it's always been there. And there's still people alive to this day, since I was young, that has been taken advantage of HUD, Section 8, and government housing. As a matter of fact, I know of two people in particular that never moved. They refused to move out of the house because it was basically living for free. Now, it's gonna affect people in three different ways, okay? And so I'm gonna speak to it logically and hopefully objectively, and then I'm gonna put my own opinion and experience into it. The first person that it's going to affect is landlords. Yep. Similar to what's going on with all of these government programs that's being cut, and there used to be a ton or a bevy of people that would say, hey, this is how you get government contracts. Basically what they was telling you was that Biden was weak, because over the last 4 years, I've heard a significant amount of people, and there's a whole lot of courses that's been sold based around getting government contracts. A lot of people I knew that was getting government contracts wasn't even suited for the position. They would then get the contract, overinflate the amount of money that they was proposing, get the contract, and then try to hire somebody that actually knew how to do the job, or hire somebody that knew how to manage the job. And that was honestly the fastest way for you to get passive income, was to take advantage of the federal government, which is one of the reasons why I'm not tripping at the fact that we are going through with a scalpel and a fine-tooth comb to find out not only where all of the fraud, waste, and abuse is, but also we have to make sure that we save taxpayer money, because we just giving it away. We wasn't only giving it away to overseas, we was giving it away to people here, and they was taking advantage of it, and they was going to get rich as a result of it, and that's cool. Listen, if you able to, do something legally, do it. But when that party is up, now you got to make adjustments. But it's going to affect landlords first, because people that are landlords of Section 8 and HUD housing and stuff like that, basically what happens is they get a guaranteed check, and then in most instances, the person that is getting that Section 8, they have to pay a small amount, a small percentage of whatever the rent is. So let's just say hypothetically that the person has a place that charges $1,000 in rent. I know it's a crazy little amount, $1,000 in rent. That sounds crazy to a lot of people, depending on where you at in the country. But I'm just using round figures just to illustrate a point. Let's say that the person was, being charged $1,000 in rent, and the government actually paid for 90% of it. That means that they only got to pay $100 in rent, as long as they met the expectations or whatever the government, whatever that is for Section 8 in that particular city, right? And so forever, the government was paying $900, and then they gonna pay $100. Now, what that looks like from a landlord's perspective, and one of the reasons why it's so attractive, is because it's guaranteed. That's number one. And number two, they can basically be a slumlord. They're gonna leave it to the responsibility of the tenant, because the tenant knows that they get such a cheap price. They're gonna leave the responsibility to the tenant, or often at times they would let their properties go or not be improved or not invest in a property, which also lowers the values in the rest of the neighborhood and stuff, because all neighborhoods that have Section 8 is not less than neighborhoods. It's not necessarily in the hood. Section 8 can be applied pretty much anywhere, almost anywhere. But they would let those properties go and they would not spend significant money improving the property, which also improved the rest of the neighborhood or raise the property values in the neighborhood, and it would basically be a depressed market. Or they would just let the property go. They would never check on it. As long as it was getting a check every month, they didn't really care. So it's going to force landlords to compete in the marketplace for the people that actually want homes and is willing to spend money on homes, because you can't just do that to a regular renter. Now, on the flip side, it's also going to affect the person that is on Section 8. And because of that, you're going to have to really prove, or you're only going to be on it for a limited amount of time instead of being on it for a lifetime and then taking advantage of the taxpayer system. Because I know of people that have lived a phenomenal life and they taking trips and having a good time or whatever, and they're basically doing it on taxpayer dime. Again, these programs, as much as you want to take advantage of them, was not meant for a lifetime of it, all right? And then third, it's going to force people to have to carry their own weight. Too many people and too many taxpayers are tired, and we kind of like out of sight, out of mind, right? So if you don't know where your money is going, but you just have to pay taxes, because we've normalized paying taxes for our entire life. For the first paycheck that you've ever got that wasn't under the table, you've been basically paying taxes on it. As long as that's normalized, people don't even trip about it. And so as a result, they just take advantage of the system. And we've never complained because we've always just known that to be our norm. But now that the federal deficit is out of control, inflation is out of control, we know that other countries has been taking advantage of us because we can't do business in other countries in the same way that they do business here in the United States of America, that they don't allow for us to be able to export our cars over to their countries without a significant tax on it or tariff on it, so to speak, right? A tax, tariff, call it whatever it is that you want to call it. But they can come over here and import all of their cars over here and sell it for the same price and compete against American taxpayers, against our automakers. Then we like waking up, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of the reasons why we had to get somebody outside of the establishment to come in and bring somebody else that actually wants to help the American people, which is Elon Musk, and take a scalpel to find out exactly what's going on. So you're now going to have to carry your own weight. You're now going to have to grind. You're going to have to hustle. You're going to have to provide for yourself. And it's going to seem harsh at first. But then you're going to find joy in the fact that you actually have to go out and work and compete in the marketplace, bring your resources back, and then spend it on you instead of everybody else spending their money on you, right? Because we basically the baby daddies. The taxpayers is the baby daddies are the people that's taking advantage of the government system that affords these people these houses in Section 8 forever. Now Democrats is gonna run around and do rallies. I know Bernie Sanders is doing rallies. I know AOC is doing rallies. They're basically imploring Democrats to do rallies all over the country to try to prepare themselves, to set themselves up to, in some way, shape, or form, win one of the branches of government so that they can stop certain things from happening. We're going to probably go over the budgets that's being proposed by Republicans that I think trims like $14 billion in savings or something like that. I'm hearing the words for it, but I don't know. I got to do some research before we get on the Millionaire Morning Show. But the point that I'm making to you guys is that more changes is going to be coming as a result of the Department of Government Efficiency, which is a good thing. It's actually good that we get people off of taking advantage of taxpayer money and being subsidized because we the baby daddies of them. We're basically paying for them to be able to get housing, and we get nothing out of it except for somebody saying, oh my God, we need to feel good about doing things for other people. No. I'm cool with using food stamps. I'm cool with Section 8. I'm cool with housing for people that do not have resources and all of that type of stuff. I'm not cool with being taken advantage of for the rest of my life as a result of it. I can help you, but then you're gonna have to help yourself. And for the landlords, it's about time that y'all stop being slumlords anyway. Go ahead and fix up your property, get a real renter in there. I personally would never rent to a Section 8 person. And I've seen people say, oh my God, can I live in one? No. I want people in there that actually care, and I care about them, and I'll work with them, and I'll make sure that I minimize the amount that I charge for rent, and we can figure it out based off of whatever my costs are, and my costs are significantly lower because I don't have any mortgages on any of my property, so I'm able to pass that savings over to the consumer, and I'm able to have a healthy profit while at the same time not gouging my renters which allow for us to have a great relationship because they take care of the property better and they always pay their rent on time because they don't want to ever go and deal with somebody that's going to raise the rent on them every single year in order to make sure that they get the market value for their property. All right. So I love you. I appreciate you just giving you guys an update. Let me know what you think inside of the comments. Also, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We talk about real estate. It's called Block Club. Talk about real estate, we talk about investment opportunities, we talk about how you can take advantage of what it is that I do and what I've learned so that you don't have to go through what I go through or what I went through in order to get the resources and take advantage of the system, all right? I love you, I appreciate you, I'm gonna holler at you guys on the Millionaire Morning Show. Peace.